Okay, so I have a big multi-day ultramarathon coming up. 500 kilometers over 8 days, which means that we're going to be covering about 65 kilometers a day. The first 4 days are going to be predominantly trails. The final 4 days are going to be predominantly road. So the first 4 days, I'm going to be using the Hoka Speed Goats 7, the new ones, because they feel great. They support, my legs feel great in them. No issues there. If I want something a bit more snappy and quick, I've also got the Adidas Agravic Speed Ultras, which I will be jumping into if I just want something with a bit more pop. And I do want to jump in because this 500 kilometer run is a charity run. We're running for the Woodpecker project, which is a suicide awareness and mental health charity. Many people have lost friends and family. I lost a high school friend to suicide, and running for this cause means a great deal to me. I am going to put the link to donate in the description. If this charity resonates with you, if this cause resonates with you, please donate. It goes a long way to help a great charity that's doing a great thing. This video is about the road segments of this multi-day event. I've landed on not only the same make of shoe, but the same model of shoe, just the 2026 version and the 2025 version of the ASICS Superblast. These have been hailed as the ultimate long run super shoe that doesn't involve a carbon plate. So this shoe is all foam. It's built to protect you on those long runs, and that's exactly what I'm gonna need covering 65 kilometers a day. So I'm comparing the ASICS Superblast 2 and the ASICS Superblast 3, and I need to make a decision on which one to go for. This video is going to be more about how it feels for me, and I will talk a bit about the science of what's going into these shoes, but that information is already out there if you go looking for it online. This is more of a personal experience that I'm hoping you guys can kind of take on board and maybe help you make a decision about what shoe you want. I'm coming at this more as a consumer who has bought a product as opposed to a professional who has been given a shoe. So because I bought both of these shoes with my own money, I haven't gone running out on the road on them. I've had to use a treadmill to decide which shoe I'm going to go for, which isn't ideal, but it certainly gives you enough of an idea of what you want to do. So I would always recommend going into a shop and trying shoes out. They'll always get you running on a treadmill with them. And while it's not quite the same as going out on the road to run in them, it certainly gives you a good indication of what is going to be a good fit for you. The Superblast 2 weighs a bit more. The foam is a bit firmer, which makes it a slightly more stable underfoot, whereas the Superblast 3, a bit more cushioned, feels a bit more softer, maybe a little less stable, and it's a bit wider in the toe box and the midfoot, so it gives you a little bit more wiggle room there. So what am I going to need from this shoe? Doing multiple distances back-to-back days, my feet are going to start swelling, which means that if I just put my foot into a normal size shoe for me, it's probably going to start feeling pretty tight and small very quickly. So I need to start thinking about which shoes are going to accommodate that swelling, but not feel too big before the swelling starts. So does the material have a bit of give in the shoe to allow that swelling to happen? Is there already space in the shoe so that there is room for my feet to grow inside them? And what's going to happen to my feet as those shoes start to get a bit tighter? The big trade-off here is going to be stability over cushioning. Both of these shoes add an enormous amount of cushioning, which will protect my legs during the run. The plus side to having a slightly more stable shoe is that it will protect my joints from moving about too much. So having a flatter and more rigid platform is going to protect my tendons a bit better. So it will make the tendons around like my ankle and going up my calf feel a lot better. The advantage to having a softer platform, while it's less stable, it puts more pressure on those tendons, but it relieves the joints, so your knees, your hips, your back. So they both have great advantages. It's just what's going to work for you. And when your body starts to break down from a long run, where are you going to put your resources to protect yourself? So at my size of 10.5 UK, the ASICS Superblast 2 comes in at 294 grams. The ASICS Superblast 3 comes in at 281 grams. The Superblast 2 has a heel stack height of 45 millimeters, and the Superblast 3 is 46.5 millimeters. The forefoot stack height is 37 millimeters in the Superblast 2, and in the Superblast 3, it's 38.5 millimeters. And the two versions have very slightly different foam in them, which makes the 2 far more rigid and stable, and the 3 far more cushioned, but a little bit less stable underfoot. So I have made my decision on what shoes I am going to take for the road sections of the Ultra. I am going with the Superblast 2s, and I'm going to go for my first proper run in them. So I'm just doing an hour at like a recovery pace, so keeping it in zone 2 pace. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why I've landed on the Superblast 2, which is the year older version for me. I could have honestly gone with both of them. Both shoes would have served an amazing purpose for long distance running. And there's just slight nuances that made the two a bit more desirable for me. So does anyone else find this situation really awkward? But when there's another runner in front of you, you have to make the decision on whether to overtake or just stay behind them. If you stay behind them, it looks a bit weird. If you overtake, you have to kind of stay in front of them, otherwise you look like an idiot. Is it just me? I don't know. Okay, so I'm kind of buzzing over these shoes. They feel fantastic. I think I made the right choice. I can see how, if my feet swell, they might be a bit tighter than the other ones, but they feel so nice. And I think this is probably the first time I've run in what's called a super shoe that doesn't have a carbon plate in them. And they just feel really supportive. So I've gone with the 2. I really like them. This is what I'm going to do a lot of my running for the 500k in, on the road sections anyway. For a super shoe that doesn't have a plate in them, they feel so responsive and poppy. I'm really impressed actually. So even on super light trails like this, it feels like there's enough grip on the bottom to kind of handle them. So if there are only days where I'm flipping between light trail and road, I might even favour these over the Hokers, because what I don't want to do to the Hokers is ruin their grip. It really does show the versatility of these. It's what makes them such a great training shoe. A very expensive training shoe at £200, or I believe $220 if you're in the States. So very expensive for a training shoe. But if you're blessed and lucky enough to be able to spend that kind of money, they're a really great buy, and you can get them on the sale like I did as well. Hiya, hi.
Hi guys.
Hi Nikki. Right, I've got my eggs and I've got my chocolate milk ready for recovery. What a day. But I am absolutely buzzing over that run. Shoes felt great. I think I've made the right choice there. And I went to the shop to get some eggs for lunch. And what's going to be my secret weapon, I think, for the Ultra. So after every single run, and I spoke about this with my coach Lewis and the dietitian Rini, the second I stop running every day, I'm going to pound this back, which is basically just chocolate milk. I like the Alpro plant protein one. There's lots of protein in it as well. But really, I think any kind of chocolate milk or flavoured milk will go a long way. So the second I stop running, this is what I'm going to be drinking. So I'm going to get into that habit right now. It tastes so good as well. It tastes basically like Nesquik cereal if you ever had that. Might be a UK thing. Honestly, I could have gone with either two of these shoes. They're both fantastic. They both do exactly what they're meant to do, which is support the body on a long run. But I just favoured the number 2. I favoured the stability and the firmness of the foam And while I still enjoyed running in the 3, I just feel that for the specific things that I struggle with when things get hard on a run, having the stability there is more important than having the soft cushioning. What I love the most about running in the Superblast 2 is that it still felt like a super shoe. I don't know whether it's the mix of foam that they've put into this shoe, but I didn't necessarily feel the absence of the carbon plate. It didn't feel too soft under my foot. I think they've just done a really good combination of foam in here so that the stability is still there. I really felt like my foot was supported and that it was just sort of really placing my feet really well on the road. And you can definitely feel the cushioning underneath this as well. It's just a little bit springier and a bit firmer than the 3. The other slight difference between the 2, aside from a very slightly higher stack on the 3, is that there's a slightly bigger toe box in the 3 as well. So these feel very slightly narrower in the midfoot and the toe box. These felt slightly wider. And I think they've made it wider because of how soft the foam is. Just to add a bit more stability, they've made the whole shoe just a little bit wider. So if you've got wide feet, these are a really great option. So the 3 really felt like I was running on a cloud. So that's a good thing and a bad thing sometimes. It depends what you like. So this was absolutely the softest shoe I've ever run in, but I didn't really feel slow in it because it was soft. It just felt like it was really cushioning everything that I was feeling underfoot. Now, the issue that I would have with this is when you're like really far into a run, having that lack of stability because of the foam squishing around can cause more issues than not, for me. The most consistent niggle that I struggle with is shin splints, which is definitely an instability issue. So having a lack of stability in the shoe, it might feel really great for the first 20K, but the second 20K and the third 20K of a day, it might start getting a little bit problematic, where my body's starting to struggle to stabilize itself. The shoe is adding to that lack of stability, and so my body is fighting that as well. And that's why I've chosen to go with the 2 that's a bit more stable, because once that stability goes and your body's fighting that, it's really hard to fix that on the go. Whereas with the 2, yes, it might not feel as soft underfoot, which means that maybe my feet might start hurting a bit more. I might just start feeling the pressure on my joints a bit more. The advantage there is I can always fix that on the fly with slightly more cushioned socks, blister plasters, all these things that kind of help bring a bit of softness if I need it. So the biggest reason I went for the 2 over the 3, the issues that I might find myself in while I'm mid-running are issues that can be fixed, as opposed to with the 3, if the issues start arising that this shoe is more likely to cause, it might be the end of my run. I want to reiterate that for a long run, these shoes are absolutely fantastic. I'm lucky that I could try both of them and get really specific with my needs. But if someone just sent me this shoe to run this ultramarathon in, I would be so over the moon. It's such a great tool for the job. You really can't go wrong with it. It really is the ultimate max cushion shoe. Thank you again for being here another week. I feel really great about the gear that I've chosen. I might do like a full gear breakdown because I'm taking a lot on this multi-day ultra. It's going to be great. We're leaving next Friday, so Friday the 8th of May, and we start running on the 9th. We'll have trackers as well, so maybe if you follow me on Strava or somewhere else, you can probably keep up with those trackers as well. I'll put a link somewhere. Maybe try and put out a video just before we do the run next week as well. And if you've been enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Like the video if you got something from this. And I'll see you next week.